Hey, peace, fam. Absolute salute. Eno the boss, aka Eno the God, and I'm tapping here real quick. Yet again, on this subject, man, the boy Capt.kirk. You feel me? The boy Capt.kirk done beamed up and y'all done lost y'all mind, man. This don't have nothing to do with us. White on white crime. And we still trying to make podcast about what happened. Nothing happened. Stop judging that shit. We don't know if he got killed because of his opinion, because of his lifestyle. None of that. We don't know. I particularly understand that it was a ritual. It's sad that you guys don't. But the more important issue that I want to really address today is why my African American community, my Africans of the American diaspora, or whatever, or Americans of the diaspora, whatever you want to call yourself, you feel me? The woke, everybody, look, all my black folks. Why can't we understand when we being gaslit? Why did we lose sight of what racism looked like and sound like? You know why? Because they started with a big old lie saying you can't judge a book by its cover. You can, you should, and you must. They even put information on the back of the book before you even open it, so you can get a little bit more idea before you choose to crack and pay your attention to this particular material. And that's what been happening with old boy. I watched them videos. I'm not college educated at all, but I am experience educated, and I'm pretty sure on a lot of levels I'm way sharper than college people. So let's understand this, man. You gotta understand when you're being gaslit. The subjects that the dude was talking about were so racially charged that it blew your minds. You also gotta understand when you're being played. You feel me? The people that came up there were unqualified to debate with somebody of his intellect level. But they play you and they tell you that this man didn't go to college and he didn't do this and he didn't do that. So they set you up for the softness, make you think he's one of you. You get it? And then he starts to say things that stir the emotions. It's called necromancy. He's hitting heartstrings, emotional strings. You feel me? Them super strings. Wave theory, emotional manipulation. So he comes through, not assuming, I'm not tripping, I'm just being, hey, but I'm gonna sit by Starbucks, all of that is a ritual, you feel me? All that is a ritual, you feel me? So the boy run up, he come up and he has these unqualified people asking these very low vibrational questions. So what it does is, it has every black person looking at this like, man, I wouldn't have asked that question. And notice how the questions is always about reparations, LGBT stuff, rights of this, rights of that. So once you come up and you ask that shit, you open up your vessel for his knowledge, for his spirit. You going through a ritual right here, you feel me? So you ask this question and you give yourself up to it. You on the mic, you on the podium, you got all this energy behind you. These people ain't never been in this situation. And then he says the very thing that you wish all your black politicians would have said. Because this black person that is supposed to be representing you asks a question that you wouldn't have asked. Weak shit. So you already in a state of weakness. You ask some weak shit about reparations, and the first thing this motherfucker say is, yeah, well, we cut off healthcare. You want to know why we cut off healthcare? Because black people need to get off their ass and handle their business. How's that a bad thing? And right there, you have just been attacked with a truth in a false setting. You understand what I'm saying? So boom, when that hits right there, everybody watching, the person that asked the question, you see it on their face. They're looking, they're like, damn, he right. You know why? Because it is true. We don't need handouts. We shouldn't be asking for handouts anymore. But unfortunately, the system that was built around us as far as everyday living makes it that we have to. And it's on purpose. So you see what I mean? There's a whole play going on. Look into the subject of theosophy. You feel me? That Blavatsky shit. They got a whole school on theosophy. You know what I'm saying? They just got us worried about psychology, but these people is studying spirits. They studying sounds, vibrations. Look at the cat. You feel me? Look at that. That's crazy how that shit be going to sleep like that. Sidebar. But yeah, I showed that because that's what we do. They run certain little tones. Ooh, oh, ooh, blah. Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, ooh, and your ass go to sleep just like that cat. Aha, y'all thought I was catting off. I'm making a point. Look, and it's real talk. They running the whole play on us. So by the time he says that thing about black people need to get off their ass anyway and stop looking for handouts, everybody's going, yeah, they should. And he's speaking to your subconscious because you know that we should. But what about this? We've done it. They bombed us. They create laws around us. They actually have a thing called the black tax. My phone bill is more than my wife's. And she's of mixed ethnicity, African American, and mixed with something else. And it's not white. But that's just for the record, you feel me? Because I ain't one of them dudes. But look, I'm just letting you know that. But my phone bill more than hers, and we on the same fucking we on the same we both on T-Mobile and all the shit, and we actually like look, same city, everything. She even got 2 lines on her shit, and hers lower than mine, and she's in a different profession, meaning a different walk of life, a different career status, you see what I'm saying? So certain things, like, it's crazy work, the stuff that we've been seeing. So really, like, look into that, because they also did that little separation between the man and woman and who makes the most and who makes the least on both sides. They made that big rift so that people will never see that, you feel me? But get with somebody that make a lot more money than you. I don't mean like relationship wise, but just get with them in conversation. And if you can find somebody honest that makes a lot more money than you, if you can find somebody honest that makes a lot more money than you, and you can, but people don't really talk about their money, so that's crazy. But if you really peep game, if you ain't fortunate enough to have some of these conversations, you'll start to learn that people that make under $70,000 a year get taxed a lot more. They say that they tax the rich a lot, but there's something going on. I'm telling you, I'm looking at it like really firsthand, and it is crazy. But that's another subject. The whole thing that I'm trying to get you to understand is that they do this stuff on purpose. It is by design. They have learned how to master your emotions through your thoughts. They wrote the history so they know how you're going to react. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that he was saying about hip hop. Yes, we do got the most ratchet ass music, but that's by design too. I make music. I never heard of me. You feel me? Because my music ain't full of ratchet shit. You feel me? And I ain't no bunk ass, weak ass positive rappers. I be thugging the shit. You feel me? But on some positive shit though. You feel me? Trying to get it like anybody else in the rap game. You feel me? I ain't with that demon talk type shit, but I was on some solid type shit. And now that I'm ascended in knowledge more to the esoteric side and understand the godliness inside of me, that reflects in my music too. Not a penny made. You feel me? I'm just saying. So for those of you that think that this guy Charlie Kirk wasn't racist, I ask you to put your nigga game back on. Hey, look, loosen up. Unbutton that button up for a minute. Go get that chain up out the back that you put up, you feel me? Ladies, drop that hot girl summer, you feel me? And pick that fro back out. Snatch them wigs, them nails, them eyelashes off because you've been blinded. Swipe off that fucking toxic ass makeup and get that bullshit up out of your shit. Do some push-ups, do some squats, smoke some weed. Do not drink. It's called spirits for a reason. Do not drink. It's called spirits for a reason. I had to give y'all the double whole sentence, Umar Johnson style, you feel me? Boy, oh boy. Look at how the Matrix is turning on its false leaders and followers, you feel me? And that's what it was. So how come the boy Charlie Kirk just isn't written off as a false leader or follower? Why do we got to sit here and make it out to be all of this type of shit where people getting fired and we as black people judging each other over a white on white crime? It is literally time to just point the finger. Just point the finger at them and laugh at their foolishness, not at his death, at their foolishness. Because that's what it is at this point. And one more thing before I go. If you really want to see everything unfold and see what your government is really made of, everybody, black, white, Mexican, Asian, Hindu, Arab, Ethiopian, Zimbabwe, Haitian, Mexicano, and anybody else that I can't remember because there's too much stuff going on. Guatemala, everybody, don't vote this election season. and watch what happened. Operation Shh. Just imagine the news reports. This just in, live in Washington, there's nobody here. We're offering 8 hours free overtime. We'll give you 2 days off. Just come vote, please. Watch what happened. Watch what happened. Watch how much they need you. Because when you vote, you open up your whole next year. And also many other centuries, because they putting stuff in them bills that we don't even know that ain't come to pass. That's not going to come to pass for the next 20, 30 years. You also sacrificing your next bloodline and genealogy to anything that come from up under them bills. They being charged. You selling your soul for the future by a bill. I repeat, you putting your signature and okaying on a bill of sale of the souls of your children to come. You are the electricity that fuels the power of the rituals that curse you. Electricity, electorio, voting, voltage, voting, voltage, voltage, curse, voting power. You get it? Unplug from the matrix. Unplug yourself, and it has no power over you. Peace, fam. Absolute salute. And Wholeness Tribe.